Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. My name's Kayleigh. Hey. Whew. So it's been a while since I've done any kind of consistent reading, so I apologize for that, at least when it comes to tarot. So yeah, but I figured this is a pretty this has been a pretty crazy year, and we just had a very intense eclipse that will definitely affect us for the next little while, and on Monday we're having the grand conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, so I wanted to come on and give you guys a reading. So, Gemini. For this reading, I'm doing classic 9-box spread. I'll be using my Druidcraft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Cargom, illustrated by Will Worthington. It's a gorgeous deck. It is It is quite big for my hands, so I struggled to shuffle it a little bit, but and if you're curious about what just popped out, it's the High Priestess. So I think I'm being reminded to rely on my intuition. Okay, the other thing is, if I need any clarifiers for anything, I'll be using this Illuminated Tarot. It's pretty neat. It's by Caitlin Keegan. The only thing is, it's 53 cards instead of 78, so they've taken the major arcana and kind of combined it with the minor arcana. So that's why I'm using it for clarification and not as the main tarot deck. And to close it out, I will be pulling an Elder Futhak rune for you. So I made a bag for my new rune set, and I made myself some leather runes. I'll show you them quickly before we get into your reading, because I'm proud. I'm proud of them. So I kept them like a natural leather color, and painted into the embossed area the rune itself. So they're pretty sick. So anyway, those will be there and ready for me. Just making sure I didn't drop any. Yeah, okay. Apologies if you hear a little girl yelling. That would be my niece. Yeah. What can I say? I don't live alone. Alright, Gemini. Before we get started, I want to do a quick prayer. So, God, Goddess, Universe, Source, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you for the opportunity to share and converse with people all across the world with this wonderful technology that we have. Thank you for rising me out of my bed today. Thank you for bringing me the resources and the information and the sources I need when I need them. Please protect this space. Please allow me to have a clear and concise message for Gemini. Thank you for bringing Gemini here. And please allow Gemini to hear what they need to hear for their highest soul evolution. And please prevent any and all interference from dark forces that wish to interfere. In fact, I do not consent to any interference during this reading. Thank you, and let's get into it. That was quick. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, the overarching theme for you right now, Gemini, is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is a very stable and secure individual that has mastered their physical resources. It typically reflects a Taurian energy. So that's pretty interesting. And then the card that came out that'll be in the middle of your spread is the Eight of Pentacles. So speaking of mastering your physical resources, this is the first decan of Virgo. The Eight of Pentacles reflects, you know, putting in the work, being prudent and consistent about the time and effort that you put into whatever projects you may have. Okay, so wow, that's freaking crazy. The first card that I just pulled is the same as two other readings, and it's in the same spot. That's wild. Okay, so I'm going to go through this horizontally and then vertically, and we'll kind of like combine it all together and see what we got, okay? You also have a lot of reverse cards, so hold on here. Are these supposed to be reversed, or did I flip the deck upside down? That happens sometimes. That is a very different picture. Okay, let's go through this, alright? I was reminded to use my intuition, so I'm gonna go with it. Top row, we have the Six of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. Okay? Six of Wands in reverse. This is the card that's the same in a few other readings, by the way. So the Six of Wands, typically this is like victory, being like having a regal and just like a higher station because you've kept the moral high ground in something and come out of a battle that you feel quite confident about. Interesting. Now the Queen of Swords, this reflects a Libran energy. And she is very confident in the decisions that she's made and the truth and the communications that she has doled out, you could say. I love that the artist, for all of the court cards, some of them are wearing shoes, some of them are not wearing shoes. I love that she's not wearing shoes. In particular, I feel like this indicates that she's still very connected to the earth and connected just with her feminine aspect. So while it is the air energy, which is seen as a masculine energy, it's still very much connected to the whole of the picture and the being of femininity and the earth and her body and all of those things. So this is someone who stands for justice and for truth. I love it. And then you got the Ace of Cups. Gorgeous. Freaking gorgeous. I love the aces in this deck. It's just wonderful. So you have a salmon swimming upstream. You have a crescent moon. And you have this abundantly overflowing chalice. Just complete with all sorts of foliage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. There's 5 streams coming from underneath the chalice. And those break and separate into further ones. So anyway, the Ace of Cups, this is, I see it as, this is what you're giving to yourself. It could be an offer from outside, but I don't typically read the aces like that. I mean, take it how it resonates with you, right? But yeah, so we're coming from this place of either we've lost this battle or we've won it. Either way, we've kept some kind of moral high ground and stuck to our truth. and stuck to our guns, and maybe we've cut out some people that have been trying to undermine us, and now we're feeling like content and whole within ourselves on an emotional and maybe even psychic and artistic front. Next row down, we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. Wow. So this King of Pentacles underneath is definitely showing through. Okay, so the Ten of Pentacles, the tens are always the completion of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. I think the art on this card is really interesting. Like, he looks bored. He looks like, okay, I'm done. What's next? But like, really, he has a very full life. So, Ten of Pentacles, that's the last decan of Virgo. That indicates to me that up until this point, you felt like you've had enough. Or even actually, something that just came to me is you could be taking for granted what you already have. So that could be it. And then the Eight of Pentacles, like I was saying before, this is about like putting in the work, putting in the hours, you know, nose to the grindstone, you could say. And then the Five of Pentacles, this represents a sense of lack. So that is kind of where I get that feeling of like you haven't really felt like what is actually around you has been enough. And the interesting thing about the art on this card is she's covering her eyes right there, and like that tells me that this is the first decan of Taurus. That tells me that it's almost like you're blinding yourself to the abundance that is actually around you. And I mean, you've been putting in some serious work, so I wonder why that is. And the next row down, we got the Ten of Cups, the Princess of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Gemini, this is the first reading I've done so far that has had two aces in it, and both of them are in like the future positions. Interesting. Also, the 10 is right underneath the other 10. Okay, so again, this is a sense of completion, of a new beginning, all rolled into one, right? It's the end of a cycle and a new cycle. Depending on what deck and what kind of like school of thought you're coming from, like in the Hermetic and the Thoth decks, the Ten of Cups is kind of like getting stuck in an addiction. But on this deck, it doesn't really feel like that. It feels like a happy family ending, and that is definitely what the Rider-Waite shows as well. So, I mean, it could be either or, Gemini. But anyway, either way, it's another ending of a cycle. And what's kind of interesting actually is I feel like this guy is that guy. They kind of look similar. So they also have like a similar kind of like bored or discontent kind of feel to them. Definitely interesting. Anyway, maybe you need to go and talk to your grandpa. Or your dad. Moving on from there, we have the Princess of Cups and the Ace of Wands. This is like extremely powerful new beginning of something. Ace of Wands is, well, first of all, is the first instance, the first pip card for fire, right? And this is, oh, that's interesting. The first and the last card are wands. Everything else is pentacles. Cups, swords. But anyway, Princess of Cups. That's really cool that you got this and the Ace of Cups, because this is like, the Ace of Cups is like the first kind of like idea and inspiration and kind of like inkling that is coming for you. And then the Princess of Cups is the actual physical manifestation of that suit. Anyway, she's very content. She's very calm. And then the Ace of Cups. Bam! That's like some very powerful new beginnings. Gemini, this is really exciting. Okay, so I'm going to look at this going vertically now, okay? So, past position of 6 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. You've come out on top with something, especially like if you look at it as the top row is like what's happening in the ethers and the spiritual, planetary type stuff. Angels. You could see it as like your angels have been fighting for you. Now, I don't want you to get confused. I am not a believer in any kind of like savior type program. I don't think that anything or anyone is going to like swoop in and save us. We have to do that ourselves. However, when you do start taking action and taking responsibility for your life, for your choices, for the situation that you're in, the universe responds in kind. So we've got this like beautiful victory and valor, and we're feeling quite confident. And then we've got this 10 and the 10. So it's like we have I just thought of Charlie Sheen winning. That's funny. Okay, so that's like extreme like emotional and physical abundance. Whether you see it and can acknowledge it or not, I guess that depends on where you are mentally. Okay, middle row, this is kind of like present position. And by the way, when it comes to like time and divination and tarot and these kind of arts, first of all, time is not linear. That's how we perceive it with our brains. But it's really more cyclical. It's all happening at once. So I could say present day, and when you see this, it could be that all of this has already happened, or you haven't seen any of this happen yet. Again, it depends on where you are on your journey. Okay, so that said, present position is Queen of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, Princess of Cups. How I see this is like we're putting in serious work. We're making sure we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's, and putting in some consistency somewhere, right? The Queen of Swords is like we know our truth. We have committed to some kind of truth, and we're quite content in maintaining our boundaries and cutting out things that we don't need anymore. And going where the wind is going to take us. All right. And then physical manifestation, what's really cool is like when we are able to cut out things from our life that don't suit us anymore, that don't really resonate with us anymore, that need to go. Same, it's like, I think of it as like the flow of the seasons, right? Fall time, things are dying, and that's a good it's a good time to like clean things up and prepare for winter. And then when winter comes, we go through the sun and the whole earth, and we're supposed to go through this internal death process. And like we really are meant to let go of things that don't serve us anymore. And then new things are bound to come up. I think it's interesting actually. I was talking about the seasons, and this is set in the fall. But anyway, it's kind of, actually both of these figures in this present position are extremely content. Okay, so the two males in the past cards look bored. And these two figures, they look peaceful. Almost like once you're able to let go of some of the excess or the things that aren't serving anymore, you are able to come to this point of like inner peace and like alignment. I like that a lot. And then in the future row, we have the Ace of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. The thing about the fives, first of all, change is inevitable. Change happens whether you want it to or not. The real challenge is in accepting that change is going to happen and kind of like rolling with the punches. And fives are all about change. Fives are all about shifting energy and like it's an unbalanced number, right? And then you got two aces. So okay, so the Ace of Wands and Ace of Cups. This implies that what you have coming for you right now is passionate new beginnings. Something, this is springtime, by the way. This is something that is fulfilling on a spiritual level. And then the Ace of Cups, that's fulfilling on an emotional level. The other thing I kind of want to note about this salmon swimming upriver is that nothing truly good comes free or easy. And you may have to let go of some of what you perceive as material comforts in order to really, truly step into these. But wow, that's crazy. Oh man, that's so crazy that I mentioned at the beginning in my prayer, like I said thank you for bringing into my awareness and bringing into my life the resources and material and information that I needed when I needed it. That's something that I've been really aware of lately, is like I never really need anything. I think I need things. Like things. I think I need things. And then it turns out that I really don't. And sometimes the things that I think I need, I don't really need. I just want them, and I think that it will make me feel more secure, but in reality it doesn't. It doesn't make me feel more secure at all. So I've been thinking a lot about that lately, and I see that reflected here in these. It's like we're going through change, and another thing that you see with art in this card, especially in the Rider-Waite, is that there's figures, and they look destitute, and they're right outside of like a church or a warm building. So it's kind of like the more you chase, there's a looks like a Great Dane chasing a hare. The more you chase after something, especially in the physical realm, when you already actually have it, And the more you like you feel into that lack and that poverty mentality, the more those things run from you. Like you actually propel them away from you with that mentality. So if you're able to let go of this lack mentality, you'll be able to see, and what will actually come to you is some much more fulfilling new beginnings. Just put those backwards. So that's really cool. That was a great reading. Thank you, Gemini. Yeah, totally. Okay. Also, okay, so this is on the bottom of the deck, right? The King of Pentacles. Right underneath him was the Three of Swords. So, definitely going to go through a period here where it feels like you're losing things that are really important to you, but I really want you to analyze whether they're important for appearances and for like a false ego, and like important important like as far as like what you need for validation, or if it's actually important for your spiritual growth and for the lessons that you're here to learn on Earth. So I know that's kind of vague, but okay, we'll go with that one. Okay, so the rune that just fell out of my hands is Yera. I thought this was pronounced Jera for a long time, but it's Yera. It's number 12, and it illustrates the cycle of time and the cycle of a year. The message of Yera actually reminds me of the card that's in the center. Is that right action and properly timed action leads to good results, right? It is the idea of taking the time to plant seeds when it's time to plant seeds, weeding the garden when it's time to weed the garden, and doing it on a consistent basis and watering your plants. That is what leads to a good harvest. The downside of Yera is that if you get caught up in if you don't observe the natural rhythm of the earth, you get caught overcompensating, and then you end up bringing a lot of grief to yourself. The other thing is not taking right action obviously leads to not very good results. So the biggest message here is definitely like follow the cycles of nature. Make sure that you're letting go of things when you need to let go of things. Weed the garden when you need to weed the garden, right? And be patient and wait for the right time for things. I definitely feel like timing is a big thing for this reading, and for you, Gemini, especially for the next months coming up. And please do not despair while we're in the middle of winter. Remember that you already have people around you. You already have people around you that can be there for you. You just have to maybe let go of a little bit of pride and remember to be thankful for what you already have in your life. Because from what I'm seeing here, you actually have lots to be thankful for. It's just a matter of finding those things and switching your focus and your perspective. Gemini. Thank you, Gemini. That was a really beautiful reading. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what these aces and this princess end up being for you. So as time moves on, please leave me a message and let me know how it goes for you, because I'm curious. And have a good rest of December. Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, and yeah, Happy New Year. Peace.